What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So if you're clicking on this video, you already know I went ahead and purchased the Hammer Performance 1275 kit. And as you can see, my Sportster is behind me, already up on the lift. We're getting ready to dig into this thing and get it disassembled to start putting the 1275 kit on. So real quick, before we get started, I just went with the basic conversion kit, which is just pretty much the jugs and the pistons. I'm leaving the stock 883 heads and we're leaving the stock 883 cams. However, I did go ahead and purchase Hammer Performance Impact Air Cleaner, mostly because it can retain the factory 100th anniversary cover, as well as Hammer Performance would know best to get the most out of their motors. So I might as well buy an air cleaner that they build and engineered themselves. Let's get the box cracked open and let's see what we got. Boom. So this is everything I got from Hammer Performance, minus the Screaming Eagle plug wires. I'm just gonna add those on extra. Let me get everything unboxed here and out on the table and we'll check it out. All right, got the Hammer kit all unboxed here. Like I said, with the minus of the spark plug wires, I added that on extra. We have the crankcase breather filter, new intake, our Dyna ignition, gasket kit, new jets, pilot jet, spark plugs, and then obviously we have cylinders and pistons. I paid the extra 50 bucks to have them already gapped and installed. So as you can see, that looks really nice. And they have them labeled rear and front, so that's pretty awesome. And then they send you these instructions that if you need any help or have any questions, to reach out to them. So that's that. Next order of business for now is going to be taking the seat off, getting the tank off. I already ran the bike, shut the fuel off, so we ran the carb dry, which is going to definitely help out. And then on the other side, we'll need to take the air cleaner off, exhaust off, and work on getting the carb off. I think that's where we're going to be at for today. But for today, at least starting the disassembly process with that. Okay, so at this point, taking the tank off first. We already got the seat off, already got the negative terminal disconnected for the battery. So if you're looking to take your tank off your older carbureted Sportster, first thing you'll want to do is obviously shut the fuel line off and run it out of gas. Otherwise, you'll get gas out of the fuel line down there. You're going to want to remove this 1/4 inch Allen there, and there's one underneath the harness there. 1/4 inch Allen. On the back side, you're going to have a 1/2 inch nut on both sides, and just be careful because you're going to have special spacers and stuff that will come off as well. You're going to have to disconnect your vapor line here for the tank. And then there's also a ground wire for the tank you're going to have to disconnect. So that's what we're going to be working on first. Okay, got both the fuel line and return line disconnected. Honestly, we used a trim tool real easily to pull that off. 8mm screw for the ground over here. Use the same plastic trim removal tool for the vent line. Super easy. Now we're just going to take the front and rear tank bolts out, and the tank should be able to come right off. After taking the front bolt, rear bolt off, tank comes right off. I'm going to work on taking the air cleaner off, and then once the air cleaner's off, work on taking the exhaust that I just put on a couple months ago back off. All right, so we got the air cleaner all off, 1/8 Allen bolts for the medallion cover, and we went down here, 8mm breather bolts. And then these were 5/32 on the carb. So as you can see, got it off the carb now. He already went ahead and loosened up the throttle cables to take the throttle cables off the carb. And those were both 3/8 sized. Next, we're going to worry about trying to get this off. So as far as I know, throttle cable's got to pull off. I'm pretty sure the carb itself kind of just pulls off, I think. And then we'll obviously have to loosen up the choke. There's this nut on the back side of the choke we'll have to loosen up, and then this just slides straight down, and then we'll just pull back through. So we got the carb off, put slack in the throttle cable, and then these we were just able to lift up out of the carb, and then just bend it around, pulls right out. We went ahead and just labeled them because I don't work with these enough to know blindly which one's which. So we just put an F and an R for front and rear. So when we know the carb's here, which one goes in the front, which one goes in the rear. And then, like I said, the carb just pulled off from here super easily. Actually, I thought that was going to be a lot harder than what it was. And then the choke cable just pulls through, fuel line pulls through, and then this just gets disconnected off the top back side of the carb, and the carb's off. So the next thing we're going to do is take the exhaust off. If I remember correctly, they're just 1/2-inch flange nuts, 2 on the rear, 2 on the front, and then I believe it's just down to this bracket here. Okay, so we got the exhaust off, 5/16 for the heat shields, 1/2-inch for the flange nuts, and then it was a 13 millimeter for my bracket down there. But obviously that will vary depending on what exhaust you have. I just went ahead and took the inspection cover off. That was a 1/8 hex on the outside cover, and then the inside cover was 2 Phillips. You might have 2 rivets here that you might have to drill out. Mine actually did not, so I wonder if somebody was in here at some point or they just didn't do that. And then the only other thing we did was we just labeled all of our spark plug wires and coil wires, just so we know which way they plug in, left and the right. And then we just took that bracketry off and just zip tied the ignition up out of the way for now. So it kind of really opens up this so we can get to the top of the rocker box then. So that is that for this side. This side we just cut 2 zip ties off holding this harness, just so this harness is flexible so we can get to that rocker box. Next we're going to do is take off this motor support bracket on the center here. We didn't figure out what the size is yet, so I'll have to take these 2 off, and then probably those 2, because then that's just the other part that goes with the carb. And then we'll obviously have to take the front motor mount bolts off on both sides. Okay, so we just got this motor mount bracket off. It was 2 8mm hexes up there, and then 8mm hex there. Got that right off, and then we just unplugged the control that was there. Now we're going to be working on taking the front 4 motor mount brackets off. There's 2 straight up underneath here. Those are 9/16. We might not have to technically take this off, but we're gonna, just because this bracket's gonna sit here and we want to allow for some wiggle room when taking the cylinders off and back on. So take off the front motor mount. All right, so like I said, we got the top bracket off and the front bracket. The front bracket was a little bit hard to get to up in there, but we were able to just take the horn out using a 10mm socket, and once the horn was out of the way, it was much easier to get to that upper bracket. That bracket's out now, so now everything's out of the way of the cylinders. Just got to get this intake manifold off. That will be tricky to get to. It's probably still the same 8mm hexes, but these back ones are going to be fun to get to. So that's what we'll be working on next. But one thing to note, especially when you're working on any project, but a project as big as this, that a lot of things are coming off, try to start putting bolts out and back in to where they came out of, just so that way when you go to reassemble things, you know, A, what goes with what, and there's really no question. And if you're still unsure, before you go digging in, take pictures. If things look confusing, and things get mumble jumbled like this, label them, put them back where they belong, and if all else fails, take pictures before you rip stuff apart, and you'll be fine. Okay, so after a lot of trying different things and fighting ourselves, we got the intake manifold off. Just left the back screws in because they just slide in. Definitely very hard to get to. Even with a T-handle, kind of was difficult, but at this point we can throw the scissor jack underneath the rear of the bike, lift up the rear tire just enough where we can spin it. We'll want to get it in 5th gear, and then remove the spark plugs, find the top dead center to where we could loosen up this rocker box cover, and then do the same with the other one, and then follow the instructions to remove the heads. And then once the heads are off, remove the push rod covers and push rods and everything, and then should be good to start taking the cylinders off and swapping it over to the 1275. And I forgot to mention, this is obviously an 883, so this kit should pretty much double the power, if not a little bit more. So thumbs up there. Right. So got the scissor jack underneath, just enough to be able to manipulate the back tire. went ahead, upshifted all the way to 5th gear. So at this point, we should be good to take the spark plug out and make sure we're at top dead center. And then we could start getting that rocker box cover off. Want to find top dead center. So watching Hammer's video, they say you just put your finger over it and then you have someone manipulate the back tire and it should blow your finger off. So the key here is to just put your finger over till it blows your finger off. Then you find a zip tie or a straw or something to put in there and to just rotate the tire until that comes up the last little bit. And then you're close enough to start taking the rocker box cover off. All right, so we got the top rocker box, the 4 Allen heads out. And so right now we're just trying to get that top rocker box cover off. When we took the screws out, we kind of went in a crisscross pattern for loosening them little by little. Now the top rocker box cover is about to come off.
Probably hold that on.
And there you have it. All right, so we're taking our last rocker box bolts here. Once again, we started them in a crisscross pattern until they all came up pretty far, and then we just took them the rest of the way out. So at this point, we're just loosening up 3 7/16 bolts. Got one there, one over here, and then there's one back over here. And then these 2 Allens that got to come out are 3/16. So at this point, we're just going to take those out and then take the last bit of rocker box off. At this point, we have both 3/16 hex out, and he's just, once again, loosening each one at a time until he gets to a point where he can just start removing them. All right, got the last bit of the 3-piece rocker box cover off. Now we're going to be loosening the head bolts. So per the service manual, we're going to want to do a 1/8 of a turn, and we have to follow a specific sequence. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, then 4. And like I said, you got to follow that sequence, 1/8 of a turn all the way out, and then the head should come off. So that's what we're going to be doing now. All right, so we just got the head off. Just had to kind of hit it with a mallet a little bit. Once you get those 4 head bolts off, just wiggle right off. Now at this point, we can repeat the process from start to finish on the rear cylinder. I'm not going to record that, but we will have to go back, find top dead center on the rear cylinder, and then repeat everything the same to this point. All right, so at this point, we went ahead, repeated the process for the rear, got to the same point. So now we're going to be working on getting the jug off, and then once we get the jug off, we can work on getting the piston off and work on kind of doing them together and getting to that point to get the new cylinder and the new piston put on.